Welcome back to a family business podcast. The results are in. I've got them right here in my hand.
We'll
he hasn't shared any of this with us. I mean, we could have went and done our own research, but we gave PT this task, and he apparently decided that means that we can't know the answers until now.
The truth lies.
All mine are exactly right?
Yep,
PT?
I got every prediction correct.
Well, I'll start this off. Next,
here we go.
6 predictions will be structured a little bit better, and we'll get into it here in a second. But yes, we at the beginning, I think it would have been late January, early February, we made these predictions.
Yeah, because we did our first podcast January 10th.
Right.
This
So
is episode 50. No, this is 52.
Wow.
That is
52. When this airs, it'll
amazing.
be 52.
That's pretty on par for weeks. We're pretty consistent with this. Huh? Oh goodness, I don't know how I want to attack this, but
he just can't wait to tell us we were wrong.
Yes, wrong. Not really. I honestly think that overall we were kind of on the same plane of what we were expecting. I will set some parameters and rules next year, but we'll kind of start off here.
The red or what? Velvet Voice Assassin's turning into the boss here.
That's right. You know, after reading this and going through it last night, I was like, okay. But here we go. We'll start with a comment that Andrea made, and her mantra that 2025 is going to be. She said that thrive in 2025.
And we've done it.
And I would agree with that. I think that was a good mantra. I think not only for ourselves, but for the office, pretty on par.
Yeah, we actually set, I think, a goal, and obviously in recording this, we're not at the final numbers for the year, but we set a goal for the office for like, what, 140 million?
140, yeah.
Yeah, and as of recording this, we're like 190?
No, we, at the meeting last Tuesday, we were at 170.
175, and I mean, Sarah just had her big, I mean, we were probably close to 180, if not more
I mean,
right
we
now.
might get to 190.
And we didn't have a transaction count number, but I know we're over, I mean, well over 600, I think. Last time I checked, it was 661, and I haven't checked it for a couple of days. So I'd say that we thrived in 2025.
I couldn't agree more. Not only from a numbers standpoint, but just the overall feel in the office, right? Yeah. There's been a ton of collaboration, a ton of people stepping up and being mentors, and groups being formed to help each other out across the board, which has been really cool to see as well.
Agree.
Yeah, and we had a couple of personal goals. Like one of them is I wanted to have over 100 people in our network at Real. So because Real is such a fantastic, and we are as of today 150 as we're recording this. And then also Real itself, we're what, 31,000
over
30,000,
yep.
Which is, I mean, so we've more than doubled since we joined 2 years ago, right? Yeah, because we were
when
like
we
12?
joined, it was like 12, so almost tripled.
Crazy,
Amazing.
isn't it?
So that is a green light.
Winner, winner, winner.
And it only gets better from here. Okay, this is a question personally for you all. I didn't have the numbers in front of me. You said that 2025 will be the best year to date for you all.
It was not in terms of transactions and volume, but it was in terms of the total real estate experience. And
average price point.
And average price point.
So
I mean,
actually, our GCI is probably
one of the highest that we've ever had. Well, I mean, everything was right on par with what we usually do, which is a lot, which,
but we're not done yet. We got 3 weeks left in the year.
No, I totally get that. But what I mean by that is the growth in the office, like you just mentioned, watching people grow too this year. It's kind of a transitional point in our careers where we love the everyday real estate transactions and the ins and the outs of it. But now we've got another layer of helping agents develop and grow, like yourself, who has just had an unbelievably good year. So, yeah, I mean, overall, it has been an excellent year.
Yeah, it was definitely above average for sure. Did we hit the 39.7 million? No, we did not.
No, but
from
our
2019.
team here did sell
like
34-ish, which is pretty darn impressive.
Considering what percentage of people didn't even sell a house this year, I think I'm totally okay with that.
Yeah,
PT, like you doubled
72%.
So for PT, the answer is yes, because he had the best year he's ever had because he like doubled his business from last year.
So I would agree with that as well. I did ask ChatGPT to comment on these as well. Obviously, they didn't have the hard numbers, or really probably, like I said, it was a little vague on this statement, but they said ambitious, not supported by forecasts. Economists predict improvement, but not record-breaking volume. So, I mean, I guess economists are looking into this, but we'll continue on.
Well, I mean, let's really face it. So if you're just talking volume for Andrea and I, no, this was not our top year ever, but
I don't
it was
really
a really
care
good year.
about volume.
If you're talking in the office, I think we shattered what the economists were saying, and you did as well. I mean, there's not a lot of people that are growing their real estate business in the current real estate market. So I really think what's going on in our office is quite impressive.
Yeah, we can say that it was open-ended. So we'll say that's correct.
Yep.
Okay,
yeah.
There we go.
We're not going to slap hands. That'd be loud.
We all made a comment about interest rates, of course, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Andrea mentioned that they would stabilize. I said that consumers would begin to accept the current rates as the new normal. And Brad said that they will drop. So we were kind of all across the board. But in reality, I think we were all correct in some way.
Yeah. I mean,
they're not volatile. They did drop. Yeah. They're not volatile. You're pretty, yeah.
They didn't drop enough.
And buyers have learned to accept it because mortgage rates or mortgage applications are at like an 18-month high.
Which is great.
Yeah. Yep. So, obviously they're accepting it.
Yeah, I believe that it's becoming the new normal, and they've stabilized out. I believe that we just had someone in from Green State Credit Union. They're below 6.
Yep.
So overall, I think we're another green light there. So
agree.
We're so smart.
2 for 2.
Yep, we are on the board, folks. Okay, another comment from Andrea.
Oh boy.
The 5 Ds. Do you remember what the 5 Ds were?
I do. Divorce, death, diapers, diploma, and diamonds.
We added one at the end.
No, we didn't. Divorce. On
our podcast, we said downsizers, but
so we had 60s then.
60s.
Well, we had 4 and then we went to 5. I don't know what happened there, but so now we're at 6. So the 60s.
Well, first you get a diploma,
right?
Diamond, then
diapers.
Hopefully not divorce, but some do, and then death.
Right.
So probably death is downsized.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, all the below. ChatGPT said supported life event driven moves already account for many sales in tight markets. So
I'm so smart.
Well, and I mean, it's just the plain simple fact, right? I mean, if you have to get more room, you're probably moving. And depending on the year, even if it is 10 inches of snow or freezing rain and so forth.
I will say,
we've had more divorces this year than
way
goodness.
I will say overall, most of our clients were one of those categories, and very few of them they were just moving to move that they wanted to like upsize. I mean, we've had ones that we're working with right now that they're running out of room in their old house, so that goes.
I think we should take our database of 2025, and I think we should do one and determine how many fall into each category.
Yeah, sure.
I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea. So I think that's a fairly true statement.
All right,
there.
so we're 3 for 3.
3 for 3.
I'm gonna put that on the Trello board.
Andrea also said that
Why is this all about me?
Well, so this is what goes back to my original statement. It turns out that you gave your predictions first, and then Brad and I followed, and we kind of just said we agreed to everything.
Oh,
so we will be better at that next year,
okay.
And we'll be better. Excuse me. Total transaction count will increase.
It did.
And it did. ChatGPT said forecasts show that a 5 to 10% increase as rates ease and pent-up demand releases.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah, probably to be transparent, not as much as I had expected, but yes, there was an increase. So we're 4 for 4.
4 for 4. And I think the next one is actually probably going to be the biggest winner. Can you take a guess?
Is this about Zillow?
No.
Oh, okay.
This was not about Zillow.
I win that one too.
This one was more agents will leave the industry.
Oh, yeah, it's unfortunate. But what was we just listened to the Buffini prediction. The guy from NAR, what's his name?
Brian Buffini.
But the guy from NAR that was on there, I think, what was it? 50, I mean, it's like 50.
The Economist.
Yes. 240,000 are projected to leave the National Association of Realtors. That is 20% less agents.
That's just crazy.
Crazy. And that will be an interesting conversation too, because they just made, I believe this is correct. They just, now that you don't have to be a part of the National Association of Realtors.
Yes, yes and no. It's
right.
Yeah, your board makes the final decision, but yes.
Yes. So that will be one to circle on the calendar and see how that plays out in 2026.
But the thing about that is, if you're not a part of the NAR, and this is not to go down a rabbit hole, but if you're not part of NAR, then you cannot use any of their forms. And then if your board requires you to be part of NAR to be part of it, then you can't use any of their forms. So I mean, it's just kind of, I mean, it's just not really good.
What's the economist name? Eugene?
No, I don't know. Young.
He's really smart guy, and almost everything he says is true. So maybe
Patrick Yoon.
Yes.
Yeah. Is that right?
Yoon. Yeah. It'll come to me during this podcast.
Okay, next, PT.
Okay, moving on. You made a comment about new construction picking back up due to supply changes improving. ChatGPT says that's partly true. Supply chains have recovered, but labor shortages persist. Expect steady but moderate growth.
Yeah, I'd give that a not a negative, not a positive. It's kind of just in the middle, because it has picked up, but it's not picked up to the extent they thought. It's still, existing home sales are still surpassing new construction right now, last I checked, but it is predicted for 2026 that will change and that we're going to see more.
Correct. Lawrence Yoon.
Good job, bro.
All right. But going back to the new construction around here, yeah, I mean, I can see that it's probably picked up a little bit. I mean, when you look at the subdivisions that are ongoing, we just drove in one today that has homes going up right now, and and we're getting into the cooler season. So
cooler. I mean, we got snow in November,
and it's supposed to be negative season. Real feel 20 on.
And one of the
Friday?
agents in our office, she's got 14 lots sold in a brand new subdivision. So yeah, but yes, we're getting really, really cold here at the end of the week, which it's too early for that.
Yeah, that's why they can't dig any foundation.
Right.
Wah, wah. Okay.
That's what my iPod said this morning when I went for my walk. They were dead.
Yeah,
that's really?
the worst.
Yeah, when you put it in your ears, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah. No fun. Okay, Andrew's last comment, to keep track, it is, I think she's 5 for 6. I think that's pretty good.
I think all of them, right?
Yeah,
what's the only one
I guess the construction.
Well, I didn't nail the construction.
Yeah.
Last one, or that more renters are going to choose to buy. ChatGPT says moderately likely, rent growth slowing and improving rates support renter to buyer movement.
I think I nailed that one.
Yeah, I think that's true. I mean,
we have and maybe it's just a different database, but we have way more people that reach out to us about buying than rent. It used to be kind of a common thing.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
Plus we also don't do Zillow anymore, and that's usually where they come from with Zillow. Yeah. But yeah, we don't really get that anymore.
Yeah, we listened to the Brian Buffini yearly deal, and he really hit home hard on renting versus buying as well too. And I think we've hit on that topic quite a bit in our podcast here, that long term, it's like the stock market. I heard today on one of the podcasts that I listened to that the stock market day by day is like when you go to vote, right? It's like what you're feeling today. The long term is a scale, right? So although it might look like it's not doing great, and renting might be the deal that, oh my gosh, I need to rent, that'll get me into a actual place quicker. Buying long term is still the best thing to
Brad,
do.
can I just say something?
Yeah.
So if that's the case, why do you look at our stocks every day?
Because I always want to know who's voting for what, and I look at it every day.
Okay.
I look at it about 10 times a day.
Well, it's back in the day where he'd get his coffee and you watch the news. It's the same routine, right?
But that's ridiculous. I say it does. He'll be like, honey, do you know? And I'll be like, who cares? We're not selling it. It's not. It doesn't mean anything.
Not to get off topic here, PT, but
we're off topic.
Did you know that I do not drink coffee right away in the morning anymore?
We're 3 days in, PT.
That's good.
But I do drink coffee after I work out.
I try to have at least a bottle of water before, but
smart.
It's It's a struggle.
And those of you that are on camera, that's how you can look as good as I do and in as great a shape.
Oh my
as...
gosh. Who wants to make a prediction for 2026 that Brad is still not having coffee until after he works out? He's going to try.
If Brad does this, he'll probably be a lot skinnier.
Your cortisol levels.
Oh, goodness.
All right, back
to the fun stuff. So that's, like I said.
I don't know. That was pretty fun.
Does Brad lose more or less than 10 pounds in 2026?
I'll take the over. Okay. So like I said, after going back and listening, I basically agreed to everything. So I did say that consumers would accept current rates, and we talked about that, and that it would be a good year, which it was for me personally. I've learned that, especially with goal setting, you need to be more granular. You need to be more specific on what you're going to do.
Keep it simple, stupid.
So we're going to do that next year for all.
SMART.
Don't
what does
you
it
think
stand for?
too?
What does SMART stand for?
I'm not sure.
Oh, goodness.
PT?
I have no clue.
Specific, measurable, obtainable, results-driven timeline.
Thank you. And I was just going to say that too. Goals are great, but what I heard today, which is even better, was that goals are great, but you also have to check in on those goals periodically. That if you're not holding yourself accountable, then it really doesn't make a difference if you make a crazy goal.
Specific, measurable.
That's right.
I like it.
All right, on to Brad. We talked about his rate prediction, them dropping correct. Brad also mentioned that fence sitters will start to transact, which I believe is true with the accumulation of potential rates dropping and so forth. ChatGPT said supported by pent-up demand levels.
Yeah. And I would say I'm mostly right, kind of like your new construction thing, that not as many as I thought, but definitely more than the previous year.
Is there anything we were dead wrong on?
Not really, because I think we were a little too general, but that's okay. That's okay. We'll improve. Brad also said home prices rising, which is also true. It's being forecasted about 1 to 3% growth nationally, which, I mean, in reality, I mean, inflation and so forth. So that is pretty on par. The last one is that inventory is going to continue to increase, which I would say is fairly true.
Fairly. Slower than I thought again.
Right.
Based upon when we do the market reports every, at our office meetings every 2 weeks, I mean, it's still a seller's market, but it's definitely getting more towards the more neutral rather than just this huge spike of seller. So I think that that's a true statement.
I think it's, and we'll do our 2026 and predictions another day, but I think just looking back at 2025, it didn't advance as quickly as I had anticipated. That I think the government tried hard to get inflation under control, and it just didn't happen as quickly as they had anticipated. It will be interesting here this last quarter how that turns out, because we all remember in 2025, early on in the year, Mr. President Trump, he dropped the tariffs, and that made the markets go crazy. But, part of the reason was to get money back and to lower inflation and all the rest of that. When you do something drastic like that, it's going to make the markets go crazy, which makes a lot of people not comfortable financially, that they don't know what's going to happen. But obviously there was a big boom after that I think all of us had a great summer. I mean, it was very, very busy, and we didn't see, unlike last year, if you recall, the number of closings in December and January usually aren't very high, but they were really low last year. That if you remember, like, the market kind of shut off in October because of the election.
Right.
Well, and I am shocked, though, because I thought for sure on that. Maybe it was just a different podcast that I predicted that Zillow was going to get sued. And I was right. And not only once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times, not 5 times. So I was right on that. And it'll be interesting to see in 2026 how that all shakes down, because there's already more stuff coming out about that. And, though, the other flip side of that is it's really just not relevant. You guys will get a chuckle out of this. I haven't told anybody this yet because we've just had a busy day. But I have a message on my phone, and the guy called this morning bright and early, and this is what it says. It's pretty funny, and I'm sure this is a script that they're using, but it did make me chuckle because it's 100% not true. Because, I mean, if you listen to my podcast, you guys know how I feel about Zillow. But this says that.
Do you like Zillow?
It says, "Hi, good morning. This is blank with Zillow. I received a request for some information from you about Zillow Showcase. This is the number that had called me and filled out the contact form. So I'm just reaching out to set up a time to connect. You usually need about 15 minutes to learn about what your listing business looks like and to show you how Showcase could help you." And then left his number. So either someone stole my phone,
someone pranked you.
Yeah, because
they listened and they're like, "This is going to be great."
It's gonna be great.
So I'm sorry, but I'm not going to be calling you back because I don't care.
It's interesting, how you talk about that, but yeah, I mean, lead gen. I think a lot of agents right now are very dependent on it, and they haven't gone back to the basics, which we've talked about in another podcast too. But it will be interesting, and I don't want to get into 2026. What's going to happen with all that in 2026?
Well, I think it will be, and I think that our office is like a little Peachtree dish trail for that, because when we opened our office, one of the things that we really, and we've talked about this before, really was, I guess, priding ourselves on, or really trying not to, is just after Brad's 25 years, we've learned, even though dual agency is perfectly acceptable and legal in our 2 states, it's just not really a good situation. Yeah. And so we kind of just made it it's not a rule, 100% can't do it, but just a general good practice that we don't practice dual agency in our office. So therefore, when leads come in, we typically will refer them out to someone. So it's interesting to hear other agents and how many of them, even in the last few trainings, we've been kind of talking about sources of business, and how many of them have had leads that have come from the office that, and we don't pay, and we have a little bit of realtor.com that's still floating out there, that when we joined as one big team, there was an agent that had that. But I mean, really, for the most part, we don't pay for anything. It's just rebranding of our listings. And I think that's something that
and we've been very good as an office, I really think, at the training of getting back to the basics, bringing in people
B2B.
that know what they're talking about. B2B, which is very true, which has helped in 2025. And I anticipate that'll help in 2026. Yeah, good year.
PT had the best year ever, doubled his business.
Yes, he did.
And he's going to even do better next year.
Yep. He'll just continue to go up and up and up. And part of that is, I mean, a big reason is doing all the things, right? So it's like a lot of people, they often say such and such gets lucky. Such and such. No, they don't. Luck is created by hard work. And that's true in life. That's true in sports. It's true in business. If you practice well, you'll play well. And that's the one thing that, if I look at the microcosm of your year in 2025, it was running the plays, doing the things, right? I mean, whereas a lot of people don't have the discipline to do that,
accountability,
and they don't do it, and they wonder why their business does not go up. And if you keep doing that, which I know you will, it'll keep going up and up.
I could make a prediction for 2026.
Hold it.
No, we can't do 2026, right?
No, I just am going to make one prediction, though.
Okay.
If you don't run the plays, you don't do the things, you don't make the calls, you don't have the conversations, your business will not go up in 2026.
Well, it's as simple as the business becomes a lot more predictable. You're able to see, okay, if this is what I need to do to get to here, and all you have to do is do it. And it becomes a lot more predictable. You're not wondering when your next check is coming. You just understand, this is what I have to do to get to here.
Yep. Yeah. No, that's very true.
Yeah. And I could go on about this ad nauseum, but like I said today in the training, like when the guy was like, well, what's the one reason why realtors aren't successful? And I think my word was laziness. But I mean, I know
that's the
it is
summation of it all.
That's the sum. I mean, some people don't agree, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's true. Like you just said, PT,
lack of discipline,
which is really laziness. I mean, if you don't do it, it's like if you decide that you're going to be a professional basketball player and you need to shoot 100 free throws that day. Yes, that's discipline, but also if you decide you don't want to do it, isn't that being lazy?
You're not going to be as good at
shooting
free throws.
That's right.
Just saying.
All right. Well, that will help us close out 2025. Yes. We can all sleep at night now. I promise next year we will have some parameters in place and maybe some categories so we can differentiate it just a little bit.
Absolutely.
Oh, goodness. All right. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.